Hello friends, it is Victoria and I am very excited for today's video because I'm just super passionate about this subject. If you guys watched kind of like the me coming back video, I said I want to start making more videos about social media marketing because it is something that I'm super passionate about. And today I'm going to show you what I do as a day in the life of a social media manager. First of all, I'm still a student, so this is only a part-time position. I typically work about 10 hours a week. So what I am doing in this position, technically a student worker, but I work for the Sales Institute at my business school at my college. So I'm kind of part student worker, part social media manager, but I basically manage the social media accounts on my own. And this position is really cool because they pretty much gave me free reign. They, whenever they interviewed me, I told them about my past experiences, and they basically kind of just wanted someone to come in, come up with social media goals, social media ideas, social media strategies, and they basically said, we kind of trust you. I run through all my ideas with them, but I really have a lot of free reign in this position, which is a lot of fun because I just get to be super fun and creative. And at the end of the day, the main point of our social media is mostly just for our students. It's a place to post about our students, to show students, I say our students when I'm one of them, to show students different events that are coming up, different opportunities. So the two main social medias that I run currently are Instagram and LinkedIn. This is only my first semester working, and we wanted to start it off kind of simple with these two because we think that they fit our brand the best. They just make the most sense. Instagram, most of our students are on Instagram, and LinkedIn, a lot of future corporate partners, our corporate partners, recruiters, basically anything business related is on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, we are part of a business school, so it just makes sense, and LinkedIn is awesome for what we do. Typically, I would go into the office and I would work about 3 hours at a time. Due to coronavirus, I'm obviously at home and working remotely, so my schedule is very flexible. I can post whatever I want, whenever I want. If I want to work 3 hours straight, I can work 3 hours straight. If I want to do 30 minutes here and 30 minutes there, I can do that. It just kind of depends on the day. I'm going to be showing currently right now what I am doing a day in the life and showing you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I do whenever it is time for me to start sitting down and working is I actually come up with a to-do list of things that I want to do. I kind of rank and order things that are most important. There's kind of two sections of my to-do list. The first is like the top things that I need to get done for that day. And then if I'm done with that and I have more time, those are kind of more longer term things and longer term goals that I need to work on. The first thing that I said that I'm going to do is check LinkedIn. So whenever I check LinkedIn, first I go and check our mentions and see if we are mentioned in any way. I'll make sure to go and like posts, comment posts. A lot of times it's students saying different experiences that they did. Maybe they went to a sales competition, stuff like that. And then I will also congratulate them if they're graduating. It's just a lot of fun. And I remember before I was working for the Sales Institute, whenever I made an announcement about, winning a sales competition, they went and they commented. Whenever I announced about my internship, they commented, and it's just fun. It makes the students feel good. Then another thing that I like to do on LinkedIn is, even if we're not tagged in the post, it can be really relevant to us. And another big thing that I'm really trying to implement on our LinkedIn is making it a place where sales professionals as well as aspiring sales professionals can find really helpful events and tips about sales. So a lot of times that's sharing other people's content, and that's something that you really want to focus on social media, is that yes, you want to push your own brand and make your own brand known, but especially on LinkedIn and Facebook and Pinterest and even Instagram, you want to make sure that you're putting content out there that is just helpful, because at the end of the day, that is what is going to get shares. And I've watched a lot of LinkedIn learning videos, and this is just something very important that you definitely want to implement. Typically, I will spend anywhere from about 15 to 30 minutes on LinkedIn. If I'm in the office, which I'm currently not because coronavirus, I will also check our emails because, once again, I am a student worker. So on top of doing my social media job, I'm still sitting there behind the desk. So if people come in, I tell them, what office they're looking for, or a lot of times we'll get mail, so I deliver the mail. I make sure the kitchen is clean. I do all that student worker things. I answer the phone. I also check emails. So a lot of times in these first 15 to 30 minutes, I will also check emails. Like I said, right now I don't have access to my student worker email, so I currently don't have to check any emails. So now that I'm done with LinkedIn, it is finally time to start getting down and dirty on the things that I need to do today. First thing that I also like to typically do along with LinkedIn is update my calendar. Right now, I don't really think we have too many important things to post, so I just check my calendar, make sure it is where I want it, and I always update this, and as soon as there's something that I think I should post, I figure out when I want to post it. Typically, I'll post it the day that I had that information, but also you want to post more than twice, at least for what I'm doing, because a lot of times I'm putting stories more so than post. So I'll put stories saying that there's an event coming up, so as soon as I find out about that event, I'll post a story. Maybe if there's registration, a few days later, I will remind people, don't forget to register, you know, it's in a day or two, and then finally the day of, don't forget, this is today. So I always like to plan things out that way. Now that I have my calendar all up to date and everything, the next thing that I was working on and that I've been working on for the past week and a half is I want to have current students who maybe have an internship this summer or former students who have already graduated and have full-time jobs. I want them to take over our Instagram story and kind of tell a little bit about a day in their life. So right now what I'm doing is I'm currently contacting people. I asked them, you know, on our Instagram, I put a story and I was like, hey, if you're interested in doing a takeover, please DM me. I also have a few group me's that I'm part of for our sales club. So I just asked anyone if they're interested to DM me. So I keep getting rolling emails and DMs. I spent about 30 minutes talking to people and scheduling them for when they're gonna do a takeover. Once again, I have another very detailed Google sheet showing who I've contacted, what position they're doing, also if they have agreed. I just really like colored things. I'm kind of corresponding back and forth, and I'm assuming this probably took me about 30 minutes. The next thing that I need to do today was editing a video of a tour of our business school. So this isn't typically something that I would do all the time. I need to have the final edit in by tomorrow. So I spent most of today editing the video. This is just something else kind of fun that I don't typically do, but it's something that I am able to do. It's kind of part of my job description. So I'm editing the video. Whenever I edit the video, first I did a lot of cuts, and at this point now, what I'm basically doing today is adding in text, adding in music, and that kind of stuff. If you're wondering, I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. So that is basically what I had to do today, but there are quite a few things that I also do kind of on the daily as a social media manager that I want to talk to you guys about. So the first main thing that I do is I make posts. I make either a design on Canva. Sometimes the design will already be done for me, but if there is any informationals, if there is any meetings coming up, any opportunities for our students, that's one of the biggest things that I do. I would say that's probably like 30 to 40% of my job is my supervisor saying, hey, we're having this, can you please go ahead and make a post for this? And then the other is me coming up with posts around that. So the second thing that I do is actually making a schedule of what I'm gonna post and when I'm gonna post it. Anytime there's something that I need to post, I put that down in my calendar. And then I kind of work around it and I come up with student takeovers if there's not really anything going on that day. And then I come up with some other fun posts, and that's kind of another part of my job is coming up with fun and creative posts. So one thing that I did, those bingos were going around, so I thought it'd be really fun to make a sales bingo. So that's one of the things that I did. So just coming up with fun things for our social media. Another thing is long-term social media strategy and long-term planning. What I do whenever I first started this job is I actually came up with a strategy. So I said, we're gonna use this social media and this is why. And then these are some ideas for this social media. These are some hashtags that I'm gonna post. These are some ideas of what I'm gonna post. And this is the strategy that I am doing and things that I wanna implement and why. So I did that for both social medias and then a few others that we might want to break into. That's the first thing that I really like to do when I'm starting a new job as a social media manager. And I always think it's very important to come back and check on these, especially whenever I need ideas. If I'm like, man, you know, I need to post something, but there's not much going on, I get to go look back on those sheets, come up with those ideas, and then start implementing those posts. Also, another big part of my job is just responding and commenting. Like I said, I do that on LinkedIn. I do that on Instagram as well. If students take pictures of things that they're doing with us and putting on their Instagram, then I will definitely like that and share that as well. Another big part of also what I do is just researching. That's the thing about social media, is that it's always changing. And honestly, half of what I learned from doing social media is from watching LinkedIn learning videos, from researching and seeing what other brands are doing. This was kind of part of my planning stage, was I was looking at other sales institutes and what they're doing with their social media. Last summer, I worked for a Christian clothing company and I ran their social media. So I was following so many other of our competitors and just seeing what they're doing. And you can kind of get ideas from that. Of course, you don't want to completely copy what they're doing, but it gives you a good idea. So that's another big part of what I do. That is it for today's videos, guys. I hope that you really enjoyed kind of seeing a little bit of insight into what I do. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Click that subscription box down below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for kind of more quicker short form videos and just tips, social media tips, stuff like that. And I think that is it. Thank you guys. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.